Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh.
Aye, plug your headphones in, Dave.
Mate, I've got problems.
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Oh no. For some reason my headphones aren't working. 2 seconds. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, aye. Can you hear me?
Oh, hold on. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Aye, see, there's only one ear. There's only one ear in my headphones working for some reason, but it's fine. I can still use it as long as you can hear me in the microphone.
Oh, so maybe your ears weren't playing funny because the last couple of pods then it was, you never had a cold after all.
What's happening?
So we've got 4 games to cover this time. I've always been waiting on Dave, coming with... I'll say that again.
You've been waiting a long time. I was up early the day, but I start at 6 the more because I'm paying. What's that noise?
I'm eating jelly tots, sorry.
You're a big fucking Wayne. What are you like? You just want to start then?
If you want, because we've got 4 games to cover, so...
Aye, no bother, aye. Too good and too bad.
Aye, right now, what you have some, my last of my jelly tots here. That was a bad idea.
What? Aye, love you lots and jelly tots, sir.
Uh-huh. Sorry, that was a bad idea, now I'm chewing them.
What you like? You'll get heartburn.
I'll get a hard on. Sorry, I can't laugh what you said.
If that's what jelly tots do to you, mate, then that's quite weird. I said heartburn.
Oh, heartburn, that's better. Mm-hmm. Speak properly.
Aye, didn't speak the other mouth, fella.
That's what she said.
Aye, you wish.
Pardon me. Stereo burping.
Oh dear, aye. Pepsi Max has got a lot to answer for it.
It's going to be one of these nights.
I know.
You keep rattling about there.
Sorry mate,
What was that?
Match. I've dropped my classic match stuff. Just on you go.
It just sounded as if you had farted there.
It was actually it was a zip, believe it or not.
A zip? You got funny zips.
I have.
Baby, take off your coat.
I didn't. Was that Arnold Schwarzenegger again? Aye.
No, that was Tom Jones. I said I told them. That was not Sean Connery again.
Oh my god. Oh dear. Right.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the I Ready podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave. How are you doing, Dave?
Good. I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Not bad. Sorry, I've still got a jelly tot stuck in my head. Yes, I just had a big mouthful of jelly tots just before we started there, so... Yes.
And that's not a euphemism.
Definitely not, no. Yes, but we were going to have a pod out maybe last week, so it was going to only be 3 games, but as ever, Dave was predisposed and we couldn't get a pod out in time.
Why is it always my fault?
Because, Dave, like I say to my wife, I'm always ready and waiting. I'm just waiting on the say-so.
Oh dear, no, this time, Derek, it was all to do with work's Christmas nights out. That was the reason that I couldn't, that we couldn't get a pod out last week. But no, I'm back now. As you say, we've got 4 games to cover, too good, too bad. It's what we've come to expect with Rangers sort of bipolar performances, isn't it?
You just stole my word there, didn't you? You were looking at the Twitter feed, bipolar performances, and
no, I've never looked at the Twitter feed once. No, sorry.
No, well.
But I'm actually speaking about the Rangers' performance rather than the reaction of fans, mate, like when you were.
Aye.
No, I was thinking more of the performances that have been up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's just the inconsistencies, isn't it? I think that's the problem for us at the moment. But I'm sure we are going to get into that, aren't we?
Absolutely. So we'll just batter on, and we'll go down the tunnel and onto the pitch. So the first game we've got is Thursday the 29th of November. It was a 0-0 draw at home to Villarreal. Fantastic result, wasn't it?
Brilliant result, Derek. I mean, I know that you're going to get into everything that happened, but considering what did happen in the match, you know, regardless, that would have been a fantastic score. We said that already in the last pod, didn't we? This is a top quality, you know, team playing in La Liga. Some phenomenal players on show, and I said that to you, Derek, that a draw would be a great result for us. Obviously we were wanting the win, but you know, with circumstances that you're about to get into, it was an absolutely fantastic result and a great performance.
Yes, so we lined up McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Worrell, Flanagan, Jack, Koulibaly, Arfield, Middleton, Candias and Morelos. On the subs bench we had Foderingham, Halliday, Macaulay, Ejaria, McCrory, Grejda and Lafferty. So in the 5th minute the ball was crossed in from the right, bounced a couple of times and seemed to catch the defenders on the back foot. It fell to Arfield in the box and he had a snapshot and it was right at the keeper. Good chance though, right early doors.
Yep. Yeah.
9th minute, Villarreal had a cross, whipped across the goal but couldn't get anyone in the end of it, so dangerous play as we knew they would be. 21st minute was a great tackle by Arfield, inner half to win the ball. Ball played long up to Morelos, who ran with the ball, ran out of space and had a shot, and it was deflected over the corner, deflected out for the corner. The corner was whipped in near post and Morelos had a back heel flick and it went just over the bar, so a bit of inventive play there, and I think he had scored something very similar to that before.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. 24th minute, Villarreal down the left, good cross on the deck, past Worrell, right to the attacker and hits it wide. He should have got it on target, because I remember that now. It was a fairly easy one. It was just literally a tap in, but he couldn't even get it on target. 29th minute, there was a good cross from the left into a dangerous area of the box from Middleton. Arfield tried to get his head to it, but it was just snuffed out. On the 30th minute, it was a free kick from the left. It was cleared out to the right to Arfield, holds it up, plays a good cross into the centre of the box, knocked down by Worrell and Goldson over the bar. McGregor was at it again just a minute later. It was a great save from him. The ball was played right through the middle, beating the offside trap, 1v1 with the keeper, and McGregor gets down and makes himself big and blocks the shot. That was a really, really great effort there from Villarreal, and it should have really been 1-0 to them, but once again McGregor played
absolutely fantastic, superb play.
Yep. My feed went down for about 5 minutes, so I never picked it up, but the next chance I had here was in the 41st minute, where there was a shocking challenge on Candias, where the player went right through him with his studs, and the player had just been spoken to about giving away a foul, but yet there was no yellow card given to him. It was a disgraceful challenge, wasn't it?
Totally, and as you say, the fact that it had just been spoken to by the referee, you would have thought that might have calmed him down a wee bit, but no, nothing. And I don't know, do you think the referee was maybe unsighted, or
we'll get into unsighted referees shortly?
No, I don't. Oh God.
42nd minute, Flanagan tried to pass to Worrell from the left wing. An exceptionally poor pass. He really should have done a lot better. The Villarreal player nips in, gets the ball, hits a shot in the box, and once again McGregor makes a top class save to stop it going in. Just once again Flanagan down that left hand side. You know, he was under very little pressure and he tried to play the ball across field.
I know, it's one of the first thing that you teach laddies, you know, when they're playing is never ever play the ball across. across, your defence or your goalkeeper. It was, it's the sort of golden rule, and I couldn't actually believe he'd done it, Derek, and the amount of pressure that he put under us. And I think he owed McGregor a pint after that one. He really did.
Right, absolutely. And then the moment of controversy, once again, we seem to be saying that in every single game here. It was a red card for Candeas for his second yellow card, and it was for absolutely nothing. I can't remember what he got his first yellow card, but it had already been booked anyway. The ref didn't even realise that it had been booked, and he took time to speak to his assistant before ordering him off. All he done is he literally fell over the player, and I think we spoke about it on the post-match reaction, didn't we? Yeah, it was Morelos who had actually fouled the guy, and it was three of our players, and Candeas ended up falling over him.
I actually would have put it down to Tavernier more than anything else, Derek, if he was going to book anybody, because Tavernier was in there as well, and that was the sort of clumsiest one out of the lot of them. But it was Candeas that got the yellow card, as you say, just for falling over the guy. Absolutely nothing in it whatsoever. Second yellow card and off the park, which was an absolute nightmare for us at the time. But thankfully we were able to hang on and see out the rest of the half.
Yep. Apparently during that incident, one of our fans actually ran onto the park. But, I mean, what are these fans thinking during that? I mean, all that was going to happen is he gets lifted and UEFA charges us, which is exactly what's happened. So it really does himself and us no favours whatsoever.
No,
just idiocy of some of the fans.
Yep, totally.
Certainly in the first half, it was a fairly open game. Villarreal had a bulk of the possession. We had given the ball away far too easily, far too often, and given away needless fouls. Again, with the chance with Flanagan, I think he was the weak link in the defence. Certainly, our passing wasn't as crisp as usual, but certainly Arfield was having a really good game. So, 20 half time, obviously, it was we thought it was going to be backs to the wall, but I really don't think it ended up being overly that, did it? 52nd minute, it was a long passage of possession for Villarreal, ending them having a shot on the edge of the box, forced another great save for McGregor. 57th minute was down the right, ending in Tavernier getting the ball to Middleton in the centre of the box, who turned and hit a shot. It was just over the bar. 64th minute, Villarreal powerful shot from 25 yards, which took a double deflection off our defenders and right into McGregor's arms. He didn't need to move about it. He didn't need to move, but it was a bit of fortune, wasn't it? Yeah. It was a blistering shot initially.
It really was, and that's the first thing I thought. If that is, 5 or 6 inches either way, that was in the net, because it was hit at some power, but as you say, luckily for us, straight right into his chest and his hands, thankfully.
This is the thing I've always said, if you're having trouble trying to break down the defence, just have a pop, because you never know what might happen.
Exactly,
as you said, 5 or 6 inches the other way, either side. Yep. It was
in. Aye.
That'll come a feature of our performances in the last 2 games, won't it? But 76th minute, Middleton had the ball in the back of the net after some great play, but he had just drifted offside. Absolutely, he was offside, but he had just maybe had a wee rush of blood to the head, never looked along the line, but it was a great move, none the same.
It really was. It was fantastic play at that point, Derek, and like me, I absolutely gutted, but we seen straight away, the linesman had put his flag up right away. Really unfortunate, as you say, if they just held back that millisecond, he'd have been onside and it'd have went in, but just an experience for the laddie, that's all it was.
Yep. 78th minute, Morelos came off and Lafferty came on, and he made an instant impression, didn't he? He had a thundering shot from 20 yards, forced the keeper to make quite a dramatic save and puts it over the bar.
That's the sort of Kyle Lafferty I think that we've been looking for, Derek, the sort of big game player, just to come in and make that difference. And as soon as he picked the ball up, he had one thing on his mind, and that was to get a shot away at goal, and it was an absolute belter, and it dipped right at the last minute as well. And I genuinely thought it was in. I jumped right off the couch as soon as I seen him hit it. As soon as I thought it was gone in. But as you say, a really good save by their goalkeeper as well. But it'd have been spectacular if it had went in.
I think I let out quite of a girly whimper in my trying to stifle my cheers, because my wee baby was sleeping in the next room. So
a girly whimper.
I think that's what it was. Fortunately, the game on Thursday is at 5-6. I think it is. So
that's right.
I can let out a bigger scream if we score. So.
What do you mean? You mean when we scored, Derek?
That's going to be if now, isn't it?
Positive.
On the 81st minute, it was a long-range effort from Villarreal, forced another good save from McGregor. 88th minute, it was a short corner from Villarreal, played into the middle, ball floated into the box in a volley, but it was just over the bar. And the last thing to round out the game was Koulibaly came off in the 91st minute and McCrory came on. So, you know, as I said, it wasn't the onslaught we expected. Certainly McGregor kept us in it a good few times, but what a performance from the players, especially being down to 10 men for most of the game.
We're getting used to it now though, Derek, aren't we? I mean, let's be perfectly honest. If there's anybody in the whole of Scottish football that could adapt to playing to 10 men at the moment, it's definitely us. Yeah. So no, against that calibre of opposition, Derek, considering we were down to 10 men for the whole of the second half, it was a spectacular performance. I'm not going to say it was a good performance. I thought it was a spectacular performance. And the second half was controlled. It was calm. And we were still creating chances as well, which was great to see. And just as you say, unlucky both with Lafferty and with Middleton that we didn't actually win the game in the end. So no, I think they can take great pride in that, and I was certainly completely overjoyed, as you say. We said it on the post-match pod that we did, how pleased we were, and fantastic. And it's still, Derek, we said that we never thought we would be in this position at the start of the season. It could never have dreamed it, and we've still got it's still in our hands to go through, Derek. It's still in our hands. We go and we win and we go through, and I'm staying positive because we've had two, as we're about to go in, we've had two poor results recently. Surely they can only play better than they have done in the last few games. So no, I'm positive, Derek. I'm looking forward to Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's win or bust, isn't it? A draw won't do.
No.
So we've got to win the game. I think Rapid have only got to secure a point, I think, for them to qualify. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up. But certainly, we've got to go all guns at it, I think. And our performances in Europe have been fantastic, I think.
Yeah, and they are having a very indifferent season, Derek. Rapid Vienna, they're sitting 8th in their league at the moment, and they drew 0-0 at the weekend, so they're not playing with great confidence at the moment either. So we need to use that to our advantage without a shadow of a doubt. We need to go out there and we need to stick to our game plan. I don't know if the way, if Steven Gerrard will have us, because I think that they'll be on the attack to try and score a goal, and then I think they'll just try and sit back. So it just depends what our game plan is. But I think we just go for it, and the way that we're playing in Europe is certainly more suited to the style of football that we're playing at the moment. So no, I'm really looking forward to Thursday, and I'll be able to. I'm working on Thursday, but I don't leave till 8 o'clock at night, so I will be able to see the whole game before I go. So, should be good, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is obviously the last two games we've played against Dundee and Aberdeen, they both sat back and they played within themselves, so that's not like the teams we've came up against Europe. They've been quite more open and allowed us to play a wee bit more, so if they just look at the last two games, they know they're going to get a result against us if they just sit back like that and defend. So it'll be interesting to see, and hopefully they don't do that.
No.
But anyway, into the next game was Sunday the 2nd of December. It was away to Hearts in the Premiership, and we won 2-1. We lined up McGregor, Tavernier, Macaulay, Goldson, Halliday, Koulibaly, Arfield, Ejaria, Candeas, Morelos and Grezda. On the subs bench we had Fotheringham, Worrell, Jack, Lafferty, Flanagan, McCrory and Middleton. So again, all to play for, and we're looking for a positive result because obviously we blew them away in the last game, didn't we? So
yep, definitely, yes.
Yep. So on the 8th minute, it was a long throw in into our box by Hearts, knocked on with the head and the attacker's header, then forced a save from McGregor, make a diving save. I think he made it look a wee bit more dramatic than it really should have been, to be honest, but he had to be called into action none the same. Another chance for Hearts on the 20th minute. There was a corner in, it wasn't cleared. Long ball floated back into our box, and the attacker had a looping header forcing a save for McGregor to tip it over the bar, which was another great save. Once again, the long ball floated back into our box is the thing that's is doing us all the time, isn't it?
And I thought that we had addressed that, Derek, at the start of the season. Again, I'm going to get. We'll speak about. There's a couple of things that I want to speak about, but we genuinely thought at the start of the season, when Goldson and at that time Katic came in, that we really had addressed the sort of long balls into the box, and we had two guys in there that could deal with that. But it's starting to become a problem again, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we keep chopping and changing the defence, and I think that's
exactly. I think that's, as I say, we'll get into that later on. But as you say, it did cause us a few problems in the early stages of this game. Derek, Hearts were by far the better team.
Yeah. On the 21st minute, just a minute later, there was outstanding tenacity and a great challenge down the right by Candeas. Floats in a long, inch-perfect cross to Morelos. He was free in the box, however, Morelos fluffed the volley and hit off the defender and out for the corner. It was an outstanding move, and just if he was a wee bit more composed, I don't know, but certainly it was getting a great positional play from him to get there in the first place, but just needed that wee bit more composure, I think.
Candace, though, Derek, you'll not get a better cross ball. The vision that the guy had, as you say, he had no right in even getting a hold of that ball, but he kept challenging. He won the ball fair and square, and he just had a wee quick look up. He seen where Morelos was, and the distance away that he was to put such an inch perfect pass to him, and you would have put your mortgage on him scoring. I even think he had enough time to take a wee touch, Derek, and steady himself.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He went for it, as you say, and fluffed it. I was really surprised at that, but fantastic. That would have been a sensational goal if that had went in, but unfortunately it didn't.
And then we went a goal down on the 26th minute. Hearts had a lot of possession and a lot of passing around, around our goal. We never dealt with it. Simple as poor attempted challenges. We allowed them to play. We sat back. We were feared to put in the challenges sometimes. The ball ended up wide right as a hopeful ball across the deck. Macaulay slid in and the ball hit off his foot and into the back of the net. A bit of fortune and, just unlucky for Macaulay. You can't really blame him for that. But, it was poor not dealing with the balls to begin with.
The thing that annoyed me was Ejaria had the chance to clear the ball, Derek, and if and he chose and he got robbed, and then we had another chance to clear it, and then Macaulay as well. I think the way he was positioned, I think he went for the ball with the wrong foot. To be perfectly honest with you, he went for. The easiest thing would have been for him to clear the ball, I think, with his right foot, but he tried to tackle with his left, and that's where, it was a very strange goal, and unfortunately it bundled into our net to make 1-0 to Hearts. But like I said, I thought that Hearts were the better team at that point, Derek. I think they were playing the ball much better. They were pressing, and we were toiling at that point. But I think the goal maybe gave us a wee kick up the backside that we were looking for.
Yeah, I think so. 32nd minute, Grezda had a shot on the left side of the box, forcing a save from the keeper and out for the corner. 32nd minute, Ajaria had a header cleared off the line and it went out for the corner. The keeper had committed himself to making a save, and I think he was still trying to compose himself from that, and it was a looping header, but unlucky there. And then we scored from the resulting corner. Goldson, who scored a corner, was whipped in. It was a thigh shot from Goldson. It was saved by the keeper right back into the path of Goldson, who kind of clumsily bundled it over the back of the net, but I'll take it every day of the week if that's how they go in.
Definitely, I think he sort of thied it in or kneed it in, did he know it in the end? But as you say, really not caring how it went in to get us back 1-1 at that point, and I don't think that we look back after that, Derek.
No, I don't think so. 36th minute, Tavernier free kick from the edge of the box, up and over the wall and hits the side net, and I think everybody thought it went.
I know, I did as well, yep.
A minute later, it was a great long free kick played into the box, right to Morelos, took a touch too much and snuffed out by the defence. Again, it's maybe one of these composure things. If he had maybe shot first time, it was in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then he managed to get a goal though 3 minutes later to put us 2-1 up. It was a lovely long free kick into the box by Tavernier, and it was a volley by Morelos right into the back of the net, and it was, I think, slightly offside, wasn't it? But it's about time one of these decisions go for us.
Aye, I mean, it was a kind of split second thing. I think everybody's making out, Derek, that it was an absolute clear. It was, so straightforward. It was unreal, but it was played so quickly that it was very difficult to see. And it's supposed to be that the forward player gets the sort of slight advantage, even if it's, there's slight dubiety in it. So, get it right up them, Derek. How many of these decisions have went against us just even this season? And, no even going into the likes of last season, we've had loads of blooming goals chopped off and stuff like that, and, that have been well onside. So, no, you take it every day of the week. It was a good move, and a good goal by him as well again. So I was delighted with that.
Yeah. So we went into half time. Obviously, kind of buoyant with the play so far. So in the 50th minute, there was a good drive and run with the ball from Tavernier. A good pass to Morelos, who gets into the box. He could have squared it to Koulibaly, who was free in the centre of the box, but he shanks a shot wide. Really, selfish play, I think, there from Morelos, which sometimes you want to see. But if he had just looked up and seen Koulibaly, he was in acres of space. If he had just squared the ball, it was more or less a tap in home, wasn't it?
Aye, at that point, I don't know if he was maybe just a wee bit sort of, try to go for it himself, or I honestly don't know. But as you say, if he had just looked up, it'd have been a simple tap in, So really should have capitalised on that one.
Yep. On the 56th minute, Grezda had a shot in the box, and it was on the right hand side, but it was right at the keeper, and he came off a few minutes later on the 63rd minute, and Jack came on for him. 64th minute was a quick break up the park with Ajaria getting the ball in the right, plays an early ball to Morelos on the far side of the box. Morelos slides in and connects with the ball, but couldn't direct it. Goal bounce, a bit unlucky there. Yeah,
really unlucky with that one. That was a great move as well, Derek, and just even a split second more, or even if he'd just started sliding a bit quicker, he would have probably got on the end of that. But no, that was a great move as well, that one.
Yeah. Now, for me, it was a moment of controversy again. I know a lot of people have an opposing view in this, and it's one of these things. But Arfield was shown a straight red card on the 70th minute. It was a shot from Candeas, saved from the keeper, comes back out to Morelos, who basically fluffed it. Keeper saved it again. He has two hands on the ball, but the ball was still on the ground, wasn't in his full control at all. Arfield slides in, connects with the ball. The keeper kind of seen it and kind of pulls himself out the way. He rolls about like he's been shot, and then he gets straight back up, and Arfield gets a straight red card for it. Now, obviously, people were saying, and I think you're in this camp as well, that it was a reckless challenge, but I'm of the view that the ball wasn't, in the keeper's full control, and he's quite rightly to go for the ball. Maybe, his momentum taking him forward towards the keeper that made it look worse than it was.
I think if he had been a foot closer to the goalkeeper, I would have been agreeing with you. But the fact that he was quite a distance out and still slid in when the ball was there, I don't think it was a straight red card. I think a yellow card would have sufficed, but I did think that it was reckless, and just for the distance that he was out. The goalkeeper had stopped the ball on the line, and then he made his slide in. Now, if he'd have slid in as the ball was getting played up, as the ball had just hit the goalkeeper's hands, fair enough, but I think that he was too far out and the ball had stopped, and then he made his slide in after that. So I'm kind of in the camp that I think it was reckless because of the distance. But again, I don't think it was a straight red card. I think the referee bowed to the pressure of the supporters and all the players that were surrounding him, the fact that he gave him a straight red, which I think was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you can nail in the head there for me is, regardless of what you think of the challenge, I don't think it was a straight red. It was a yellow card, certainly, but maybe not a red card. As I said, I still think he's perfectly entitled to go for the ball, and it's one of these things where if it was outfield, I think it's one of the keepers get a lot of protection, don't they? If it was outfield, would it have been the same? I'm not too sure. Different set of circumstances, obviously. Because
it is. I just feel, Derek, that the distance away that he was from the ball, and the ball had stopped, and then he made his challenge. If it had been just a foot closer, or the ball had just been hit and he slid in just as soon as the ball touched the goalkeeper, I would have said fair enough. But regardless, it definitely wasn't a red card. But And that's another thing that pissed me off, because I think the referee really did bow to the pressure of the stadium and all the Hearts players that were surrounding him at that point, and he pulled the red card out straight away, which I think was really unfortunate for Arfield at that point.
Yep. We did, and from there we were the only team that were really in it, weren't we?
Yep,
78th
totally.
minute, we had the ball in the back of the net from Morelos, but it was offside, and I think it was this time. 80th minute, Koulibaly came off and McCrory came on, and the 86th minute, Candace came off and Lafferty came on, but I think Hearts only had maybe, was it 2 shots in the second half, and that was it.
Aye. Yep.
Which is quite funny how the actual moans from the Hearts captain and Craig Levine came out after the game, didn't it? Christophe Berra, or rather Christophe, came out after.
Oh, didn't he? That was really cringeworthy. I mean, I didn't think that Michael Stewart could get more cringeworthy than he already is, but that really was. It was actually quite embarrassing, Derek. I felt embarrassed for him, but on you go.
He came out and after the game and he had a go at Morelos, saying he must have had eyes in the back of his head as he was always looking at me, and he also had a go at Lafferty as well, saying that he lacked class for celebrating the win. Well, firstly, Morelos is an attacker who's trying to get the better of his defender, who was Berra. What's he meant to do? He's going to look at the bloody defender as well.
Exactly.
As for Lafferty, what's he meant to do? Not celebrate a win?
Again, I was slagging off Michael Stewart there just because he was being embarrassing. But Michael Stewart, to be fair, on that subject, when he was on about Lafferty, said that Lafferty, at the start of the game when he was warming up, went round all the stands with all the Hearts fans and applauded all of them when he came in, which obviously we didn't get to see because it wouldn't have been on the TV cameras. So if he lacked class, he still went round and applauded all the Hearts fans that were in the stadium, which shows a bit of class, Derek. So as you say, Lafferty's never made a secret of the fact that he's Rangers daft, Derek, has he?
No.
And it would be the same if it was Stephen Naismith. Stephen Naismith would do the same, because regardless of everything that's happened, Naismith's Rangers daft as well. So we would all do it, Derek. It was just
correction. Stephen Naismith just daft.
Aye, but we, it's one of these things. But it was just kind of sour grapes, Derek. In the end, the one thing that I thought was hilarious was Craig Levine saying that he was talking about we were playing against 12 men. No, you weren't, Craig. You were only playing against fucking 10 men. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then he was on about the support as well. He says, "Oh well, that'll be 13 men then." He went absolutely ridiculous stuff. Coming for Levine,
he's taken a break from his 2018 banter tour, didn't he? By going mental. Also claimed that the ref was biased. Cutely mentioned Neil Lennon. Basically said the same, and he never got charged for it. So he seems to have escaped any sanctions, hasn't he? Which is fucking a joke.
Aye, I know. It's didn't get me wrong, Derek. I like Levine. I think he's a total fucking wind-up merchant, especially against Celtic and that. He always says things about that makes me laugh. But it was sour grapes, Derek. We were the better team, totally, especially in the second half. Going down to 10 men never affected us because, again, we played well. So, no, I was delighted with that win as well, really was. And it got us to top of the league. Very briefly, it got us to top of the league, but it was a huge win for us, and it did get us to top of the league, even if it was just for a few days. But it was great for us to know that we were in that position again, Derek. We'd waited a long time, and I hope we didn't have to wait much longer to be back there again. But no, it was a great victory.
Yep, it was brilliant from Gerrard in the pre-match press conference for the next game as well, where he was asked questions about Morelos and about his aggressive playing style, and he stated, "Okay, what we'll do then to make all our managers in the league happy, we'll tell Alfredo not to compete, and we'll tell him just to get kicks from pillar to post from first minute to last."
Yeah,
just absolutely taking the piss out of the managers and the journalists for asking such stupid bloody questions as well. So
yes,
so. Into the next game, this is where it starts to go downhill.
Yes, I was looking forward to this game, Derek. I really was. I thought we would go out from the start and we would take revenge on these bastards for that cup semi-final. I was really looking forward to it. I thought our players would be up for this 100%. And how fucking wrong could I be? I'll let you get into it.
Yep, it was a very sluggish first half. Never really got going. Aberdeen looked to stifle the game, which really worked. They were on us quite quickly, and our passing was really poor and often overhit. Too many sideways passes, not enough urgency, and we offered little up front as well. Aberdeen offered nothing either, to be honest. They were just out to stifle the game, which I had to laugh at. Somebody, one Aberdeen fan, left a comment on our post-match reaction on YouTube, saying that started making excuses for Aberdeen. They had just come back from a very, very tiring defeat in the League Cup final. You know, fuck off, that's got nothing to do with this game. But anyway, we lined up McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Macaulay, Flanagan, Jack, Koulibaly, Ajaria, Middleton, Candeas, Morelos. On the subs bench we had Foderingham, Worrell, McCrory, Halliday, Rossiter, Grejda and Lafferty. And it really all went Pete Tong from the 6th minute. Aberdeen went 1-0 up. There was a free kick floated into our box from the left, not dealt with by two defenders. Falls to the Aberdeen attacker, who volleys it into the back of the net from about 7 yards. Pish poor defending again.
It was, and the thing that annoyed me as well, Derek, was the goal that Aberdeen scored. It was a hit and hope sort of shot. He basically just flung his big toe at it, and it blasted out the back of the net. Could have ended up going anywhere, and I think that annoyed me as well. Apart from the really bad defending, was that the ball could have ended up going well over the bar, because it was basically just throw anything at it, and it just it flew into the net. It was quite annoying, but there you go.
Yep. 26th minute was a free kick floated in from the right. Koulibaly got a skiff of a head to it, and it flashes across the goal, and nobody could get to it, and it was knocked out for the corner. Corner came in from the left to the near post. Morelos gets his head to it, but it went just by the post and out for the goal kick. 30th minute was a free kick floated in from the right. Koulibaly gets his head to it, but over the bar. And on the 34th minute was a red card for the Aberdeen player for his second yellow card. It was a shocking high boot on Goldson. He had just picked up a yellow about 10 minutes previously for basically the exact same thing. So obviously in our favour now with only playing against 10 men. Well, that's what we thought. In the 41st minute, the ball was worked to Middleton after some good play by Jack to win the ball. Middleton hits a shot from the edge of the box, deflected off an Aberdeen attacker's feet. Keeper gets his hands to it and puts it out for the corner. So that kind of rounded out the half, and it was, as I said, sluggish, and playing the last 10 minutes of that game, last 10 minutes of the half with an added advantage.
I don't know about you, Derek. I at that point had a feeling that we weren't going to get anything from this game, which is terrible considering it's only half time and it's at Ibrox. But I could just, and I think everybody else could tell as well, that our players just didn't look up for it at that point, and it was a horrible position to be in, because even looking at the bench and looking at stuff, I thought to myself, is there anybody there that could really come on and change this? And you would usually be looking at our bench and saying, he'll make a difference, and he'll make a difference, and he'll make a difference, because compared to where we've been, we're so much better off. But just the whole mood of the team that night, I just had a horrible feeling that we just weren't going to do anything or get the breakthrough. And as you're going to get into the second half, that's what happened. It was a really, really just a strange, poor performance, and they just couldn't get going, could they?
No. So into the second half, something needed to change, and Flanagan came off and Lafferty came on at half time. So I think that kind of meant Middleton moved into the left back position. I think that's what happened anyway.
Yes, aye.
50th minute was a lovely through ball through the middle from Ajaria. Lovely touch by Lafferty, and hits a snapshot with a save from the keeper. Comes back out to Jack, who hits a shot, and a fantastic save for the keeper out for the corner. 52nd minute, Koulibaly came off and Grejda came on. And the 56th minute, Grejda gets the ball on the right, cuts inside, eventually hitting a shot, but was a weak effort and a comfortable save from the keeper. 60th minute, the ball was dinked over the top of the Aberdeen defence by Tavernier out on the left hand side to Morelos, who has a great first touch to knock it down. Sits well for him, but balloons it right over the bar, so poor. And then I said it on the reaction pod, I've had it with Morelos now. He got himself sent off for a second yellow card offence 2 minutes later. He lashed out with a forearm on the Aberdeen player. Yeah, shinny who it happened to, and he made the most of it, but you can't do that for Morelos. It was just absolutely diabolical. He was already been on a booking. He knew that. He was getting a wee bit more riled up, and it was a nothing challenge. The Aberdeen player won the ball fair and squarely. He never, injured or done a rash challenge on Morelos, and Morelos makes a beeline and tries to ram his forearm in his face. We're in this catch-22 position now with Morelos, where he's clearly the best player in the team. He's scoring for fun when he's on it, but he's such a liability. And for the last 4 or 5 games, he had completely cut that side of his game out. He wasn't taking the bait, and out of nowhere, he decides to do that. I'm sick to death of it. And this is where your £15 million plus striker becomes a £5 million striker, because he's temperament like that.
Derek, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. It was stupid, and we know that. And the manager knows that as well. The manager was raging, and I'm sure that will, be brought up as well. I am of the opinion, and again, you hit the nail on the head there. Alfredo Morelos is by far the best player in our team, by far. And when he does not play, we don't play at all. And if he cut that out of his game, he wouldn't be playing for us, for one. It's and I know it's difficult, but that is what makes him the player. If he's not that type of player, then he's not as good as what he is. And it was stupid, Derek, and I could see at half time personally that he wasn't doing it, and it wasn't going to be his game, so I would have had him off for the second half, because he was getting riled up and he was getting more frustrated. And when he gets more frustrated, that is when he does do silly things like that. So I think a wee bit of man management there as well. He is still a young laddie, Derek, and he is a completely different temperament for anything that we've got over here. And if you look at some of the best strikers in the world, Derek, that come from South America, they're all fucking head cases. They really are. Look at the likes of Luis Suarez. Look at the likes of Cavani. Look at all the Brazilian guys as well. They're all. It is their temperament. He's so desperate to win and do well that he gets so wound up at the slightest wee thing. That is just him. And I know it's a nightmare. And the thing that annoys me most is the fact that he gets sent off, that he ends up missing games. That is what, and I don't know if that is the answer, if that is what he needs to say to himself. If I get sent off here, I'm going to miss a game, and I'll be sitting out. And as it came to our next match against Dundee that you're going to get into, we could have really been doing what I'm playing. But the thing is, and I think that's the annoying thing.
What's even more worse is his first yellow card was for, I think it was dissent. Now, it was a joke of a yellow card, put it that way. The referee, he was mouthing off at the referee, but it wasn't anything worse. It wasn't anything, that we haven't seen 100 players do 100 times and get away with it, But he's definitely getting refereed to a different standard.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Derek.
He's got to be mindful of that. And then for him, I don't mind him getting a yellow card for putting a rash challenge in. But when you do something like that, when it's a stupid yellow card for one, dissent, and two, the ludicrous bloody forearm smashes, that's when it becomes unacceptable, and you can't do that. It's hard enough trying to play when the referee is refereeing you at a different standard. When you go out your way to do stupid things like that, then it's just unacceptable. So, well, he's going to need to learn very quickly, and maybe. He's obviously going to get straight back in the team, because I think Gerrard's more or less came out and said that he is the best player in the team. So,
he is, Derek, without a shadow of a doubt. And a lot of people said we should have sold him for the £8 million that we were offered by that Chinese club. I don't think that you'll get a better striker for £8 million, Derek, for us. So I was delighted that we didn't take it, because he's been absolutely sensational this year for us, and he is getting refereed to a different standard. And I know that if it was me, I would be fucking frustrated constantly if I was him, with the treatment that he gets, with the treatment that he gets for the press, with the treatment that he gets for the opposition managers, with the treatment that he gets for the opposition players, because he gets targeted by them, which is, quite within their rights, because they're looking for him to make a reaction. But this is where, and again, I'm not taking the blame away from Derek. It was stupid, I know that, but this is where our management team really need to show that wee bit of professionalism and man management with them. This is where it comes, and I do think it's been a lot better this season, Derek. But it was stupid, it really was. But I would much rather have Alfredo Morelos than not have him, and I don't want to get rid of him. And I'm hoping in January that there's no any big bids for him and we end up selling him, because I do think that he's absolutely sensational. I think he's going to get better and better. So far this season, he's even better than he was last season. And I think, obviously if it was an astronomical bid, but if there was another bid for 8 million, there's no way that I would want us to accept that, because I don't think we could get a better striker in there for that amount of money. But again, we're getting off subject again, but no, I think it was a silly thing for him to do, but I'm certainly not going to get on his back for doing it. So, well, that's just me.
The game kind of rounded out, Aberdeen basically stifled the rest of the game. We offered absolutely nothing, and that's how it ended up. And really bitterly disappointing performance, because Aberdeen are not a great side, and I don't care what Aberdeen fan really come out and says that they are. They're really not a great side. So we'll leave that one there. Next game, Sunday the 9th of December, another bitterly disappointing result. It was a 1-1 draw away to Dundee in the Premiership. Again, I think there was 6 changes in the team, which again we'll get on to after the game.
Yes.
But I lined up McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Worrell, Halliday, Jack, Rossiter, Kent, Grezda, Candeas, Lafferty. And on the subs bench we had Foderingham, Katic, Barisic, McCrory, Koulibaly, Ejaria and Middleton. 5th minute, it was a long ball from our half down the right hand side from Tavernier, right into the path of Lafferty, who gets the ball into the box, hits a shot, and the keeper had to make a good dive and save for it. And then we went 1-0 down on the 8th minute with had to be typical Kenny Miller scoring.
I knew it was going to happen, Derek. We knew it was going to happen.
In his defence, though, he never really celebrated. So
no,
but it was a long ball from Dundee, right in the Dundee half, down through the left, up to the middle. Worrell was caught on the wrong side. Goldson let the ball bounce, tries to get in front of Miller, but Miller nips in with a foot and puts it into the back of the net. Piss poor defending, and once again, this long ball knocked up through our defence.
I don't know what Goldson was thinking about, Derek. I honestly don't. And again, a guy who I think's been excellent for us, but for a guy his size and his power, why did he not just batter that ball away first time? Why did he let it bounce? Why did he take the chance on letting it? I think that he thought that if he left it would have went safely through to Alan McGregor, but it was just, as you say, it was really poor, amateurish defending at that point. And again, it's one of the, a rule that, even the boys on my son's team, that I'm told try not and let the ball bounce, but he did. And, Kenny Miller, the wily old fox, ends up running through and getting on the end of it. It was a good finish by him, poacher's finish by him. He knew exactly what he was doing, and as you say, end up 1-0 down for poor defender.
I mean, we'll talk about this now in terms of the defence, but because we keep chopping and changing the defence all the time, when it was Goldson and Katic, it was a great partnership. It seemed to work. Now, the only constant that's been in the team, apart from when he had the couple of games out with injuries, is Goldson. And a lot of the mistakes seem to be coming from Goldson. So, is he getting to the stage now? Now, there is a player there, but he's making far too many mistakes. Is it the case where he's thinking he can let his concentration go because he's a stick-on in the team? Possibly, Derek. He's, as you say, he's the one. Him and Tav have been the sort of two players that are playing every week. Tav's the captain, so you would expect that. But is it maybe the fact now that Goldson maybe needs a couple of games out? I honestly don't know, but you could well be right. It might be, he's maybe saying to himself, it's fine because I'm, the first name in the team sheet every week. You could well be right there. Yep. And it really doesn't help with the chopping and changing the defence. Katic has had too long out, and he's obviously lacking match practice, and he seems to have a dip in form in terms of his confidence. Worrell, he is not worth fucking £10 million. I don't care what.
No, the one thing I'll say, Derek, I've been very critical of Worrell, as we all have. I thought in the Villarreal game he was outstanding, probably the best game he's played for us in that match, but he just doesn't seem to be suited to the sort of Scottish game, the constant pressure, the constant high tempo, and he looks really lost sometimes. That doesn't end long periods of the game. He looks really lost, and as you say, the guy was valued, but again, that just shows you the overinflated prices of English football, the fact that he's worth 10 million, do you know what I mean? But it doesn't help that the defence keeps getting changed, does it? Because it's not a settled partnership in front of McGregor, and there will be mistakes made, and it is quite worrying.
Yeah. So going on to the rest of the game, 13th minute, Jack was booked for absolutely nothing. It was his first challenge and first foul, I think, as well. Just another baffling decision by referees. 15th minute was a half claim for a penalty after Grezda goes down the box. His arm was across, the defender's arm was across his shoulder, but there was no much in it, and his first touch had kind of let him down, and the ball was too far away from him, I think, anyway. Just after that, Lafferty has a snapshot on the left side of the box, flashes across the face of goal, and on the 18th minute there was a red card for the Dundee player, with the defender having a lunging challenge and catches Candace with his studs right on the ankle on the edge of the box. A clearer red card, as you'll see, and I think some people were disputing it, but no, straight red every day of the week.
Definitely, yes.
Yep. And from that free kick, Halliday scored an absolute stormer of a goal, didn't he? It was a stunning free kick into the top left corner, which came from that free kick, and it was great from Lafferty as well, because I think the whole defence were looking as if he was going to be taking it. He had played a blinder there, and then up stepped Halliday, who was hovering about the area as well, and shot it in the back of the net. So
no, it was a great goal, Derek. I was really pleased for Halliday. He actually played quite well, I thought, throughout the game, and I think it's one thing that Steven Gerrard says that he works on all the time is sort of dead ball situations, corners and free kicks and stuff like that. So, and as you say, that was sort of inch perfect, wasn't it? He hit it absolutely perfectly right into the top corner, an absolute peachy goal.
Yep. 22nd minute, Miller had a shot in the box, saved by the legs of McGregor after a mix-up between Worrell and McGregor. 32nd minute, we had the ball in the back of the net after a great move down the right, with Tavernier playing a brilliant ball to Kent. Kent crosses the ball on the deck to Lafferty, who was behind the bloody ball. He knocks it in, the linesman gives it offside. You look at the stills of it, the linesman wasn't even up with play at that point. So it must be another guess. An absolute disgraceful decision, wasn't it?
As you say, a pure guess, Derek. That's all it was. And again, I mentioned it no long ago. It's supposed to be, even if there's a bit of doubt, that the forward player is given the benefit of the doubt there, but quite clearly wasn't. And another good goal chopped off for us. So, nightmare.
So into the second half. I've got nothing for you, to be honest.
It was poor, Derek. It really was poor.
45th minute, Kent came off, Middleton came on. 57th minute, Rossiter came off and Barisic came on. 70th minute, Halliday came off and Ajaria came on. And the only, I think, shot we had in the second half was in the 75th minute, with Jack had the shot on the edge of the box, but it was a really comfortable save from the keeper. And I think even Andy Little, the co-commentator, highlighted the fact that was our first shot in the second half, and it's a disgrace.
There were plenty of decent balls getting played in from the wings, Derek. There really was, but just the lack of attacking options in there. Dundee had Kyle Lafferty well marked, and we really had nobody else to follow up. And it's really, I thought in that game, the Dundee game, that we were really crying out for a poacher, Derek. Somebody that could just sort of slide in at the back post, or somebody, because there was a few times that Dundee, the ball would go in, and it wasn't getting cleared first time, it was getting cleared a second time, but we had nobody there just to get in there. You know, that's the sort of player that Scott Arfield is as well. He's great at making the runs for midfield, also to try and score. We really missed out on that, and if we'd have had another actual sort of poacher in there, I reckon we would have had some joy, but unfortunately we didn't. And it's, as you say, the second half, as it was a bit a non-event that way. A lot of high hopeful balls in there, and just like what I said, nobody to finish it, and it was just really poor. And again, you just had that feeling at half time that we weren't going to get it. You know, we weren't going to win, and it must just be a lack of belief at the moment, Derek, more than anything else. I don't know what you think.
I think we're getting stifled out of the game a lot of the time. These teams are known that if they just shut up shop, play a very tight defensive game, again, they're well within their rights to do that. That's what they do. They can stop us scoring, and I think it goes back to, you know, it was like watching a Warburton performance, that Dundee game, where it was a lot of going forward and you got the ball to a certain stage and there was a lack of creativity in the final third, but also as well too many sideways and backwards passes because they didn't know what to do, again because of that lack of creativity. So it was, we were going forward, playing it back, going forward, and it was not willing to lose possession. And I think we said that when we were doing podcasts under the Warburton era, we're too scared to lose possession because we might think they'll go up and you know, lose a goal that way. But you're never going to, you know, get the other opposition to, you know, have these, you know, lapses in concentration if you're not constantly bombarding them. As I said in the previous game, have a shot. It might ping off about 5 players into the back of the net.
That's the issue, Derek. We don't seem to have anyone in the midfield area that can do something like that. That's a big problem also, and we need to have somebody in there that can change the play rather than just playing it out to our wingers or our attacking fullbacks to try and put some balls into the box, because they were able to do that, but we didn't have anybody to finish it off, and that's where it has to change. And we need to have somebody then in the middle, in midfield, that can get forward and create something rather than it just going out to the wings. And that's just the way it was for the whole of the second half, Derek. It was play the ball out to the wing, get across it into the box, and there was nobody there. We had nothing to change it at all, and that needs to be addressed really quickly, I think. Yeah, I mean, as we said right at the start of this podcast, you know, some of the bipolar reactions to this is quite incredible, to be honest. I've seen a few sack Gerrards, you know, I've seen people going, it's a disgrace, all the same. I've seen people saying that I hope we lose against Rapid Vienna. That's got no fucking relevance to what's happening in the league just now. Yeah, 2 bad results, but then we had 2 great results before that, and if you look at the pattern, yeah, we're inconsistent that way, and I've said this through all out the last 3 or 4 podcasts, we're going to be inconsistent. Yeah, absolutely, it's not good enough, and you need to get it sorted out. But if you look at the league table, we're sitting currently in 2nd place. We're 2 points behind Celtic, who have got a game in hand. Now, we've played 16, won 9, drawn 4, lost 3, scored 38, conceded 14, goal difference plus 24, and we're on 31 points. As I said, 2 points behind Celtic, who've got a game in hand. We are joint on points with Kilmarnock, who we've got a game in hand over them. We are a point ahead of Hearts. We've got a game in hand over them. We're 3 points ahead of St Johnstone on level games. I never even realised Aberdeen were playing Livingston tonight and got a last minute goal. We're now sitting joint on games with 4 points ahead of them, and we are 6 points ahead of Livingston with a game in hand, and we're joint on games with Hibernian, who are sitting in 8th position, by the way, and they're only on 23 points. You know, so the league is still wide open. You know, we're doing well. Celtic still have to win their game in hand. It's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to get that 3 points. You know, I can't believe Kilmarnock at the weekend losing 5-1 to Celtic, because again, Celtic are very inconsistent. Kilmarnock haven't been opened up like that all season. They've never shipped 5 goals this season, so it's astonishing that Steve Clarke's allowed them to do that. So it's all to play for. You know, we're only 16, 17 games into the season, so I think people need to have calm heads. We win on Thursday night. You know, it's going to be cock a hoop again, because it's beyond what anybody could ever imagined at the start of the year. So, you know,
folk need to take a chill pill.
It's that's the reality that we live in now, though, Derek. Especially with social media, is that anybody with half a brain cell, you know, can get on social media and start posting things, and a lot of the time you don't know who it is that's posting them. You don't know if it's folk taking the piss or whatever. You know, the vast majority of us know that we have made a huge improvement in the team. Yes, it's very inconsistent at the moment, but still we are, you know, as you say, we're still right up there, and we're still only two points behind Celtic, regardless of the game in hand. We keep getting told how fucking amazing that they are and how great they are, and, you know, they're a fantastic team and blah, blah, blah. They're only two points ahead of us, Derek. And we're constantly, you know, being told how inconsistent that we are, and how poor, and how we're not the finished article. We know all this, Derek. Our team's only been together for 6 months. It's a brand new team. And there's been a lot of talk of a couple of players that are coming to us in January, which, you know, we've really got to try and get a good result on Thursday, try and go through, lift the spirits, and then take it for there. I think we've got Hamilton, and then we're playing Hibs away, which will be a huge game as well. So again, I think we should just get back to the one game at a time here. I think we were all thinking we beat Aberdeen and we'll beat Dundee and we'll beat Hamilton quite comfortably, and it's no worked out like that, Derek. I think we're needing just to go back to, let's just take one game at a time here, and didn't get too carried away. And I think everybody has kind of got carried away. And I'll be honest with you, Derek, I fully expected us to, the last 2 games, to have 6 points, and to come away with that with just 1 point is very disappointing. But, you know, we really just need to dust ourselves off, and try and get back and concentrate on this game on Thursday.
Yep. So as you said, somebody with half a brain can have a social media account. Somebody with half a brain can have a podcast as well. So
that's a terrible thing to say about the boys in the We Welcome the Chase podcast.
Shocking. Yes. So, swiftly moving on.
I'll get slated for that, never mind.
As we said, we've got the game on Thursday the 13th of December, away to Rapid Vienna. So game 6, win or bust basically, and there's reports of up to 10,000 fans travelling, 10,000 Rangers fans travelling there, so that'll be brilliant there. Next game, Sunday the 16th of December at home to Hamilton. That's in the Premiership, kick-off at 3 o'clock.
Yep.
Next game, Wednesday the 19th of December, away to Hibs. That's a 19:45 kick-off. Then it's Sunday the 23rd of December at home to St Johnstone, which is a 12:15 kick-off. Then another Wednesday game on the 26th, that's on Boxing Day obviously, at home to Hibs, a 1500 kick-off. And then obviously the big one against Celtic at home on the Saturday the 29th, which is a 12:30 kick-off. So right, so we'll move on now and we'll go to the classic match.
And then it is! The final whistle's gone. Rangers have won the European Cup Winners' Cup.
Dave, you've got a 5-goal thriller, haven't you?
A 5-goal thriller, Derek, and going by the first half in this match, there was never the thought that there would be 5 goals in it, but again, it was a tale of 2 halves. I'm going to go back, Derek, to 1996 for this game, the 26th of October to be precise, where Rangers took on Motherwell at Ibrox. The Rangers team that day was Theo Snelders, Derek. Mm-hmm. Theo Snelders, Alec Cleland, David Robertson, Richard Gough, Joachim Bjorklund, Gordon Petrich, Derek McInnes, Paul Gascoigne, Eric Bo Anderson, Brian Laudrup and George Albert. So some of our, some of the greatest players ever to play in our team playing that day. The Motherwell team that day, not a lot of names that I can remember, Derek, but there'll be a lot of players there that you will remember. Eddie May, Dolan, Chris McCart, Brian Martin, Howie was in goals, to name but a few. So to start off the game, Derek, Rangers were straight on to the front foot. In the 5th minute of the match, George Alberts had a fantastic game, collects the ball and runs from the halfway line passes the ball to Eric Bo Anderson, who's on the left-hand side of the box. He sort of cuts inside and has a shot for the byline, which is saved and out for the corner. 11 minutes, Brian Laudrup fouled in the halfway in the Motherwell half. Free kick to Rangers. Now, as I say, halfway between the halfway line and the edge of the box, George Alberts just steps up and batters it, and it was just about an inch past the post. Absolutely rasped it. Really unlucky there. Then on the 18th minute, Motherwell had their first chance, but it was a great save by Snelders off his legs and out. 27th minute, George Alberts through ball to Alec Cleland, who'd ran on. He got through there, but the goalkeeper managed to slide out and just get in there just before Cleland. He managed to get a wee shot off, but the goalkeeper, another good save there. 33rd minute, another shot from Alberts from distance, which was, sort of rasped away, but the goalkeeper, another good save. A lot of really bad fouls then by Motherwell on our two-star men, on Gaza and then on Brian Laudrup. The same player, Ross, he had a bad tackle on Alberts just after being booked. Should have had his second yellow and off, but even back then, Derek, again, these teams should have been off for that second challenge, but wasn't. It was all Rangers in the first half, Derek, but just couldn't get any breakthrough whatsoever, and we went in 0-0 at half time. But how the game changed not long into the match. So into the second half, Eric Bo Anderson almost gets in when it intercepts Brian Martin's back pass header, but he flicked it over, but the goalkeeper managed to save it. And then on the 51st minute, Rangers finally broke the deadlock, and what a goal to break the deadlock. My hero, my man, Brian Laudrup.
Trying to get a run going here. They'll have a go. Superb goal by Brian Laudrup. It really was going to take something a bit special from him. He'd shown great determination just a few minutes before that. He just started the run here. He knew himself he had to go it alone. Great finish, an explosive shot, high into the net. Rangers make the breakthrough. Rangers 1, Motherwell 0. Great solo goal by Laudrup.
Picks the ball up on the right hand side of midfield and runs. And he runs, and he runs, and it didn't matter who was in front of him. Brian Laudrup was keeping a hold of the ball, and he ran. He skipped past a couple of players. He gets to the edge of the box and runs along the edge of the box and hits this absolute screamer right into the top left corner. Absolutely sensational stuff. Brilliant. A goal that I will remember for a long time. I was at that game. It was just absolutely fantastic. Great goal to put us 1-0 up. Superb stuff. Then on the 55th minute, Paul Gascoigne was fouled right on the edge of the box. He takes the free kick himself. Fantastic free kick and a great save by the goalkeeper. Really unlucky not to score there. Gaza at this stage was really getting a grip of the match. He picks the ball up on the edge of the box and runs through, and the goalkeeper made a last-ditch tackle. Really unlucky there by Gascoigne. Still stayed 1-0. Gaza again picks up the ball in his own half and again just runs right the way through. Keeps going, right into the Motherwell box, and passes the ball just at the last minute to Eric Bo Anderson, who has a shot. A fantastic save again by Howie to keep it 1-0 to Motherwell. Quite incredible it was only 1-0, but we didn't have long to wait till we scored their second goal, and on the 66th minute.
Slick pass there, giving Rangers possession. Here's Laudrup. Gascoigne's in the middle, so is Bo Anderson. Chris McCart looks on. Paul Gascoigne had been rushing through the middle. It was Laudrup who provided the cross. Oh, the crowd salute Paul Gascoigne. Another good run by Laudrup. He's certainly claiming it. The last touch might have come off the defender, but Gascoigne had thrown himself in there.
Brian Laudrup again on the right hand side takes the utter piss out of Brian Martin, completely rips him, runs into the box, puts a low cross in. Paul Gascoigne and Chris McCart slide in to get it. Gaza was claiming it, Derek. It looked to me as if it hit off Chris McCart, but regardless, 2-0 to Rangers, and we were cruising at that point. And then not long after that, on the 78th minute, we made it 3-0.
There's Alberts. Gascoigne looking for Laudrup. There's no flag. Still it's Laudrup. It's over the line. The goal is given. Laudrup strikes again, and that is Rangers' 50th goal of the season. 78 minutes gone, 3-0 to Rangers. Well, he scored the first with a great solo goal. He set up the second for Gascoigne. That's not the best one of all time. The ball crossed the line, and now Laudrup's leaving the field.
Brian Laudrup picks up a through ball from Paul Gascoigne into the box, and he just kind of stops and sort of sidesteps the goalie and flicks the ball out. The goalie runs out, but the ball just trickles underneath the goalie and rolls into the back of the net to make it 3-0 to Rangers, and the floodgates had opened at that point. On the 79th minute, only a minute later,
Cleland. Well, Gascoigne strikes again. 4-0. Well, what's been a difficult afternoon for Rangers has suddenly turned into a rather easy one. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Rangers 4, Motherwell 0.
Derek McInnes in midfield this time plays the ball to Alec Cleland on the right wing. He puts a cross in, and Gaza just basically stands, and the ball from Cleland flicks right over with pace and just hits Gaza on the boot and curls into the net. I don't think Gaza knew what the earth was going on. It was quite incredible to watch it. You know, you'd have thought it was like a remote controlled ball, the way that it came in for Alec Cleland. They put such power and curl on the ball. It just hit Gaza right in the foot, ends up in the back of the net. But again, we take it 4-0 to Rangers. Fantastic stuff, an absolute rout. And then to finish it off on the 84th minute,
Gascoigne. Cleland stepping away from Martin. Could be number 5. It is. And it's a hat-trick for Gascoigne. 5-0 to Rangers. 83 minutes gone here at Ibrox Stadium. So Gascoigne takes the applause of the crowd and his teammates. Again, it was good build-up play by Rangers. Gascoigne sent the ball through to Cleland. He stepped away from Martin. Good finish. Drilled it beyond the goalkeeper. Rangers 5.
Derek McInnes again to Alec Cleland on the right wing. He beats his man into the box and cuts it back to Gaza. First time shot underneath the goalkeeper. Bang. Hat-trick for Paul Gascoigne. And 5-0 to Rangers. Fantastic second half performance. Fantastic players in show. Brian Laudrup, it put a smile on my face when I seen him score that first goal. It's simply sensational. And Gaza really punishing a team from midfield in the second half, which is what we're crying out for at the moment, Derek, is somebody to just pick up a loose ball and then just run at defences and completely terrify them. That's what we're missing at the moment. It was just a joy to watch, Derek. I don't know if you can remember anything about the game at all, but it really was. It was a fantastic performance, the second half.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it, especially watching it back, and that was Laudrup the first time he'd done that double-pointed celebration.
That's right, yeah. It was just a fantastic goal, Derek. It was tremendous. Even just to go back and watch his first goal in anybody, just, you know, I urge you to go back and watch just to see the first goal by Brian Laudrup. Simply sensational stuff.
Yep. So we'll have another classic match the next time, and we'll now go into the news. So only a few bits and pieces to cover in the news this time. Firstly, Dave King was back in court regarding his contempt of court charges. He told the court that he won't be able to make offers to 4 shareholders as they have links to serious criminal activity in the US.
I wonder who he could... All right, okay. Wait and see.
He's since halted the proceedings as well because he's agreed to comply with the share offer, which is now at £19 million instead of £11 million. I think that was due to the dilution of the shares in the last issue there. He's already had confirmation, though, that some of the shareholders have stated that they will not sell, and I think the Easdales, funnily enough, are a few of them. So we obviously know Club 1872 won't sell, and the main ones like that. So it's a bit of a pointless exercise, I think. So,
yes,
but we'll see how that goes anyway. Brilliantly, the new Rangers shop has opened up on St. Square. Queues round the block for the first 3 days. I was there on Monday there. I'll try to get in on Sunday, but I couldn't be bothered waiting in that queue, so went on Monday there. So obviously the club can't really promote it because of the Sports Direct issues that are still ongoing, but it's a fantastic move nonetheless. Well organised shop. Unfortunately, the Broxy Bear teddy bears, there was none in the shelves, so couldn't get any. So
I am planning my first trip there, Derek, on next Monday. I'm going to try and get through. I'm looking forward to it. I want one of those big bobble hats. That's what I'm looking for, mate. And so I'll be through there on Monday to see it, and I'm really looking forward to it. I take it everything was well stocked. There was plenty of everything in there, yeah.
There's a few bits and pieces. I think they didn't had certain sizes of stuff. I never had a massive look, to be honest, because my pennies were short that day. So, but certainly that was the only thing I was specifically looking for, is the wee Broxy Bear thing. But they still had lots of shirts and all that in there. So quality. Next thing, I don't know if you've seen, but this is just absolutely comical. A Celtic fan came on Clyde One phone in to say that he has written to FIFA to tell him about the Rangers bias from the SFA and Scottish referees. For the fair play to the panel, they actually sounded absolutely dumbfounded and asked the guy, how do you even do that? How do you even write to FIFA? It's obviously, it went around social media, the sound clip of it, but it's just, these folk just honestly know no bounds, do they?
Derek, this will be the type of guy who will have written out a big massive spiel on a piece of 3 or 4 pieces of A4 paper, stuck it in an envelope addressed to FIFA Switzerland, and he'll know I've put a stamp on it and stuck it in a post box somewhere. That'll be him saying that he's written to FIFA. Absolute bunker nut, completely off his head, and again, another one of them who are completely obsessed with our club, and it's just a joy to see. It's hilarious. And as you said, Derek, 55 is going to kill them. It really, really is. There is going to be spontaneous combustion of a astronomical level when we do it, and it is just going to be absolutely glorious to see. It really is. So it takes the obsession another step further, and he really did sound like a complete idiot. I mean, who in their right mind goes on a radio station and says something like that? I know who does. A Celtic supporter.
Yes. One thing I'd done there just last weekend, I think it was, is experience football hospitality for the first time. It was my mate's stag do, and we always said we were going to do hospitality. Now we looked into Ibrox, and it was just astronomical prices, well out of our budget. So we ended up in Alloa to see Alloa versus Ross County, and I have to say it was fantastic. Great day all round. Free drinks in the hospitality. We were match day sponsors as well. We got our names, our fake company read out in the tannoy, because we got to select man of the match. There's a picture of the stag presenting the man of the match with a bottle of, not champagne, but a bottle of Smirnoff.
Oh, right, okay.
Delicious quality. Right. Before the game, Jim Goodwin, the manager, I went to the toilet at that point because my bladder was killing me due to alcohol, but I never realised Jim Goodwin was Irish.
All right, okay.
Yeah, never knew that.
I couldn't even tell you if he walked past me in the street, mate, but there you go.
He was a hatchet man anyway, on the same, but...
Right.
And one thing I was really surprised at was, and I've kind of mentioned him on Twitter one time about the state of his pitch, but the Alloa chairman, Mike Mulroney, really came across as a really genuine guy.
All right, okay.
Despite his, Twitter protestations. But,
yes,
yeah, but certainly came across very well. He spoke quite in depth about, his vision for Alloa and going forward. Probably he even said he's went into more depth with us than he does normally. So because we were asking footballing questions, so. Well, and
is it still called the Indo-Drill Stadium, mate?
It is, yes. Not the Rex as we know it, but
yes, the Indo-Drill Stadium. Yep. Yes. No, mate. I have also experienced. The hospitality at a sort of lower league ground. It was actually when we were in the second division and we were playing East Stirlingshire at Stennismuir's ground at Oakle View, and one of my friends, believe it or not, Derek, there is one, is a East Stirlingshire fan and season ticket holder, and he had said, why don't we try and get hospitality for that day when we play Rangers, and we had an absolutely fantastic day, and I went with my suit on and my Rangers tie. I was there and we just had a fantastic day. The drink was flowing, there was food constantly, and I got to meet Ali McCoist that day as well, mate. So it was a great day, and as you say, the hospitality shown by the home club was fantastic. The guys for East Stirlingshire, as you say, we had the chairman and the manager all in as well, speaking to us all, and it was a great day. So no, I'm sure you had a fantastic time. And was the game any good, or were you that paralytic that you can't remember?
It was a dire game. Ross County scored in the last minute, and I think the keeper made a wee bit of blunder, who, funnily enough, we had just announced that he was man of the match because he had kept him in it, so I don't know if that put him off or not. So
that's hilarious, right? Okay.
He didn't look too chuffed getting his picture taken with a bottle of Smirnoff afterwards anyway. But certainly we're already planning our next one to one of the lower leagues ones, and it's certainly a good way of keeping the game alive. If you're wanting a good day out, we're definitely going to be doing it again, and it was value for money certainly in the lower leagues.
Excellent.
I would love to experience the one at Ibrox, but it's certainly something that's they're looking for well out of our price range for what it is. So but yeah, good to see. Last kind of footballing thing here I've got is Pedro Caixinha is on the brink of leading Cruz Azul to their first title in 21 years. I don't know what the outcome of the league is so far, but certainly I think they're only a couple of games away, and that's obviously on the back of leading them to the cup win as well. So
yep, that's right. Yep,
good to see.
No, it is, Derek. We did say it was kind of unlucky, but at the same time I don't think coming to Rangers was a good move for him or us, unfortunately. But we did think he was he did try his best, but it just obviously, unfortunately for us, it didn't work out the way we wanted to. But it will prove a lot of people, especially in the media, who had him out as being this guy that had absolutely no idea what he was doing. He's obviously doing something right, Derek, but maybe the Scottish game just didn't suit him, eh?
No. So
here we go with a big sigh, I'm waiting on it.
Shocked golfers find topless man having sex with ninth hole. A bunch of golfers out for the day on a bank holiday Monday came across a topless man apparently having sex with the ninth hole and doing something with the flag.
Oh my God.
The shocked golfers filmed the incident.
Doing something with the flag.
Exactly. The shocked golfers filmed the incident at the Brackingwood Golf Course in Bebington, Merseyside, and uploaded it to social media.
Oh
in
my
the footage,
God.
The man can be seen lying down topless with trousers pulled down as the men looking on in shock. After a minute or so, he gets up, puts the flag back in the hole and gets up, pulls his kicks back up and walks off. In the clip, Stephen Gayton, who was filming the scene, can be heard saying, "Bagsy ain't picking that flag out the hole."
It'd be my luck, I would take a hole in one straight after that, and would have to try and fish my boy at the hole. Oh, that's fucking bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Again, mate, I've never seen that story anywhere, and I would think that you would see that everywhere. So where is it you're getting these stories from?
As I said, I've got my sources.
Dear. Right, okay.
So, that wraps it up for this episode.
Yeah.
As ever, if you go to our main website, which is ireadypodcast.wordpress.com, you will find all the stuff about us. You'll find links to all our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter pages. Not Spotify yet. I'm updating the website just now, so there's a new links going on just now that's going to link in with all our social media accounts as well. If you go into the episodes page, you can get all our back episodes as well, because I think eventually iTunes only collates the top 100 or something, so we're getting close to that. So past episodes will slowly come rolling, will not get updated, but they'll all be on the website there, linking back to that. So certainly check us out on our social media sites.
Yes, definitely, and please do spread the word, guys. We ask that you do let other people know about the podcast. We want to try and get as many people listening and following us as possible. If Twitter followers aren't the best, I think we're needing to get that topped up big time. So please spread the word, start retweeting any episodes that we're putting out and things like that, and all of your support would much appreciated.
I'll correct Dave's grammar there. Our Twitter followers are the best. Our Twitter followers are amazing. The numbers are not very good.
Yes, that's what exactly, Derek. That's what I mean.
Shocking. You're trying to lose us fans here,
I think everybody knows what I was on about.
I hope they do anyway. So, thanks for listening and goodbye.
Yes, take care, folks, and here's hoping for a good performance on Thursday. Take care.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.